In a world filled with intergalactic space battles, metahuman destruction on a global scale, and psychopathic serial hauntings, there's only one team who can make sense of it all. When your world is overrun with rampant pop culture, call Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
Our
We
season
are
8
back.
explosion. 91 times. 91. We've broken the elusive 90, and we're now into the 90s. We're now
So
in
you've
the
added one to it, and then
Yes.
I see what
Yeah,
you've done there.
that's what we've
Hey
done,
everybody, I'm Loop,
And I'm Larry.
and this is Guardians of Geek. This is a brand new season. It's season 8.
Yes.
I can't believe we're already at season 8 already.
I know. Like how many?
We haven't even reached 100 episodes.
I know.
You think we'd be up in the?
I don't know, but you know what? If we were on HBO, we'd only be at 70 episodes.
That's true.
So,
that is true.
You know,
So
we're doing better than an HBO show.
We're pacing ahead. We're pacing ahead.
Right. That's right. We're okay.
So I'm excited. This is good. It's a new season. This is season. Well, you have a new logo, obviously, which is behind us if you're watching the video version of it. And you'll see it. You'll see it on our socials soon because we'll update all that stuff. And then we've got a brand new look to the podcast as well.
Very
that's
exciting.
new. Yeah, we're just trying. It's almost like we just discovered technology, and we're just trying it out for the first time. We're like, hey, what's this?
It only took us 6 years to figure this all out. We're not very smart.
No, we are not. And also, we've now changed our promos now for the show. If you go to Instagram and that, you'll see that they're now like
a different shape,
teen and millennial friendly, and Gen X friendly or Gen Z friendly.
Yeah, exactly. We've finally gotten out of the geriatric phase of our promos. We're into the youthful phase.
Yeah, it's like we've been doing it. The thing is, we both work in media. We've been doing the other way for a while now. And so I was like, it was just time that we changed it up. It's
true. But the problem with us being in media for so long is that we were trained and we're brainwashed into believing you could only shoot horizontally. Shooting anything vertically is just wrong. It's terrible. You can't do it. So it took us this long to finally recognize that, you know what? Maybe we can. Maybe we can do stuff vertically. So
but it's weird because we're shooting promos and social media vertically, but then YouTube's horizontal, so it's just one or the other. But
I don't know. There's no explaining it. We just go with the flow. Whatever is popular is what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. We just follow the trends.
Yeah. And speaking
of
trends,
not very often we're bucking the trends. We're usually we're usually following the trends. But
we are 100%.
But I know one thing that we're trending with. It's called Top Pop.
Oh yeah.
Hey kids, it's time for Luke and Larry's Totally Tubular Top Pop.
All right, we're here with Top Pop. We're just taking a look at what is trending, what's going on in our geekdom, in our little sphere of geekdom that we have, and it's like things that we're interested in. It doesn't matter. This is like an open category, really, for anything that's geek. Larry, what's happening in your geek world right now?
Well, not a ton right now because we're leading into the spooky season. So I'm gearing up for a month long getting back into the horror and getting all excited about the spooky stuff. We've got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein coming up, which I can't even tell you how excited I am about that. So, but we're just getting into that, so I'm not quite there yet. But I can tell you, and I don't know how geeky this really is. But I'm putting it out there right now because we always have at the end of the year our top picks for movies and TVs.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about it all the time.
I just started watching because it just came out a week before this broadcast. House of Guinness. I don't know if you've watched this, if you've heard of this. It's on Netflix. It's not really geeky, but it's all about like the Guinness Brewery. It's about like. But it's like a drama, like action drama thing that takes place in the late 1800s about the children of the owner of this thing, and it's like in like Ireland when there was battles, and it's violent, and it's so good. I
All
just
over Guinness beer.
Yep. It's
Okay.
just, I know you wouldn't think, but it's so good. It's just, I'm putting that out there. You might see it on my top picks this year, because
Oh wow.
it's a great show. I want everybody to know, because I think I'm the first to watch it.
Okay,
So
yeah, no one's ever seen it other than
no,
you, so that's like even the people
exactly.
that made it didn't even know it
Yeah,
existed.
no,
Yeah.
just me. This is a Larry exclusive right here.
Jeez.
House of Guinness on Netflix. Be sure to watch it.
I've gone down the road of Larry exclusives before, and I've been very disappointed. So we'll see how
Oh.
that goes.
Well, maybe it'll just be like an exclusive to Larry. Maybe Larry's
Okay,
gonna
all right,
be funny.
all
Oh, maybe
right.
that's what it's gonna be. I
We'll
don't know.
accept that.
But I enjoy it.
I'm doing my again. My 31 Days of Horror is
Yes.
back.
Yep.
I've hardly started it 'cause it's only like as of this taping is like the 2nd of October, so we've barely gotten into it.
Yes.
So every year I do this 31 Days of Horror. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, I think, somewhere in
I think
there.
so.
And I never watch the same movie twice. Within that 31 days, so
Right.
I that way it's always fresh movies every year for me. That and obviously some of them I've seen before, but just not into this 31 days.
Right.
So I break it down with a franchise. I usually a Vincent Price movie because I'm a big
Yep.
Vincent Price fan. I always do. I try to do like a Stephen King,
Yep.
and I usually do like a Universal Monsters, and then anything else I just sort of grab like randomly and throw it in there. And I try to like anything from the beginning of film to now is eligible to be in this. So I try to really mix it up. So
As
I'm
long
not
as
just
as long as it's scary, right?
it can be horror or horror adjacent. So it can
Okay.
be, for instance, like a repossessed like
Oh,
comedy. It's based in horror, like, but it's a comedy. I could watch that, or you know what I mean.
What about something like
Oh no!
Barney's Big Adventure movie?
If there's a movie,
That's pretty terrifying. If
it is terrifying. Then it just may qualify under the
I'm just
monster
saying.
category.
He's a big dinosaur. He's a big purple creature. It's I feel like you should probably put that one in there.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do with that. I'm doing for my franchise this year. I'm doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. Nice.
Which a lot of people would think, oh, what there like 4 movies in that? There's 9 movies in Texas
9?
Chainsaw Massacre. 9. Because I think 3 of them are named Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they just came out different years. There's
Right.
like A New Beginning, I think it's called.
Oh, right.
There's one that was, I don't know if this one was just called Texas Chainsaw, but there was one that was on just exclusively Netflix that's never been released on like physical media.
Yeah.
And there's a couple others like it just like there's also like 2 like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so I was surprised. I didn't realize there was that many in that series. I thought there was like 4 at most.
Yeah. I would have said 4. That's that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at anything beyond 4.
Like 5 would have been stretching it for me, and I'm like 9. So. Anyways, now I'm the owner of 8 movies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Other than the Netflix one, I don't own that, but obviously
right.
it's not out. So
Well, that'll be 9 nights of your life that you may never get back.
yeah, and the
Or at least
first one's
6.
such a classic. I
Oh,
love the first
one-
movie.
Sorry, I should have excluded the first one. 8
Yeah.
nights of your life that you might not get back.
Actually, the Netflix one's pretty good. I'll see how there are some good ones in there, and then there's some that are just like not great, but anyways, I'm looking forward to like kind of watching those. But that takes up 9 of my 31, just those alone.
Yeah.
Like so,
That's like a third of your whole month.
Occasionally, I'll do a couple like smaller ones that are like maybe 2 movies or something, like a part 1 and 2. Like let's say like a Gremlins 1 and 2 would qualify in there.
What about Howie Mandel's Little Monsters? Would that qualify? Because it's a monster. It's like got monsters in it. Or
My hand is so easily reachable to your face right now. If you just
I'm just making suggestions.
that would actually qualify because it has monsters in it. So I guess
it
it
does.
would.
I feel
Will I
like
watch it? Probably not.
Okay, well, I mean, if
When
you
I get down to
run out
the
of
end
ideas-
when there's like no movies to watch, then that one will come in there.
exactly. See, and then you'll be thanking me. Yeah,
But there's a few this year. Like Black Phone, I think comes out this month. Black Phone 2.
Yep. Black Phone 2.
And
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that Hell House. Like, you ever watched any of the Hell
yes.
House ones?
I
This one's
haven't.
supposed to be terrible, but I still have to see it. Like, because all the other
are
ones
any of
are
them
found
good?
footage, and this one's not for some reason. So I don't know why. And I saw the preview; it does not look good, but we'll see. And also VHS Halloween's coming out too on
Yes.
Shudder.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few of them. I own them all except for that one, but it's like I've
it's getting some pretty decent buzz, I think.
yeah, again another found footage series.
But it's an anthology, isn't it?
It's like anthology. So in one movie there's like a bunch of usually there's like a steady plot, like someone breaks into a house and finds a bunch of VHS, and as they watch them, they're all different stories. And that's where and then usually it wraps it up somehow. So
yeah. When speaking of Halloween movies, scary movies, I did watch just the other night. I should have waited until October, but I was getting a little antsy that I hadn't seen in forever. Drag Me to Hell. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I just bought a 4K of it. So
that's what I got. I've got the steel book, and I was like, it is so good.
I've got the gold book. It's a little different. It's a little bit higher quality than your steel book, but
that is such a good movie. I had forgotten how much fun that movie is.
Yeah, I'm gonna that might be one I'll add into this year. So
if you haven't seen it in a while, I had totally it has been so long for me. I actually forgot how it ended. So the ending actually surprised me because I had forgotten how it ended. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's great. I will put that out there. Forget about Little Monsters. Forget about Barney's Big Adventure. Drag Me to Hell. Put that in.
Awesome.
Put that in.
And you bought that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, speaking of buying things, we have a segment that we just started at the end of last season, and this is the second time we're doing it. This is a great segue, by the way. I'm worried. See how I worked that in? It's called "What Did We Buy Now?"
What did we buy now?
All right, this is What Did We Buy Now? Because if you know Larry and I, we're always buying something stupid that we really don't need, but we do kind of need. It's like...
And once we have it, it was the thing that we absolutely had to have. And it's, absolutely.
Usually it's a toy or something like something collectible or a movie or whatever it is. That's like, you can't find it anymore or whatever. But but we're finding all the time that we just always had stuff that we were picking up and then telling each other. And we're like, why don't we just make this a segment? Because we're always buying something dumb. So I'll start.
All right, you start.
So I'm a little annoyed today because the Cleveland Guardians in baseball got knocked out of the playoffs, so they're done.
That didn't take long. Huh.
But I did Cleveland Guardians wise. I'm a big WWE fan, as you know, and I love a good title belt. And I've never I bought one title belt, but I've never bought like an official one off the WWE site. And so this might be my new collectible thing I'm kind of getting into. But so I put together my love for the Cleveland Guardians baseball team and my love for WWE, and I got this.
That is a thing of beauty. I gotta tell you, I'm
metal title belt. It has it's heavy.
I'm not necessarily a really big fan of either of those things, but when you showed me that, I was just like, what? It's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and awesome. It's the one you probably see if those that don't know what they are, but WWE has made title belts for I think most sports. I know I think there's a basketball one and a football one, and they did it for pretty much every team. And often you'll see when a team wins the championship, they'll have that belt with them. So so it's kind of cool. I was like, I've always wanted it, and I'm like, and they only had so many left, and I'm like, you ever do that when you only see 2 left? And it's like, okay, now I gotta buy it because it's it's very important to me to get this. So
because if you don't buy it right then, it'll be gone and you'll regret it forever.
Yeah. Was it expensive? Yeah. But do I have it? Yes. And I'll always have it. And so every time there's a picture of me in Cleveland Indian stuff or Cleveland Guardian stuff, I'm always going to have that. So it's it's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, mine's not quite as spectacular as what you just showed, but to me, this is pretty fun. So as you may or may not know, Loop has got a kind of a hate on for some forms of animated movies. Not all. But some. But I think that the kind of movie that you might like are the stop motion animated movies. For example, Guillermo del Toro just did recently Pinocchio as a stop motion. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I didn't see it, no.
Okay. Anyway, stop motion is one of my all-time favorite forms of movie making. I just think it's so cool because it's real. And anyway, one of the best studios in the world that's that's done stop motion is Leica Studios. They've done like Paranorman, and their most popular or most well known is Coraline.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
And
I have seen that.
you have seen. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
okay.
this will make sense to you then. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I love all the Leica movies. Anyway, in Coraline, as you might remember, Coraline, the little girl, finds a door and goes through it and finds her other mother, and finds a world on the other side of this door. And the other mother is sweet and kind, but has buttons for eyes and turns out to be a witch, and just this horrible like
Right.
gaslight.
Okay, I remember that now. Yep.
So before she does that, before she goes over there, she finds in her bedroom this. Whoop.
Oh, look at
It's
that.
it's the other Coraline doll that she finds in her bedroom, and it's got these button eyes, and it's the thing that sort of communicates, I guess, between her world and the other mother's world.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and this is like an exact replica and it's actually got, I don't know how well you can see it. It's actually got like a raincoat, like her raincoat.
Yeah.
It's vinyl, like a real raincoat with buttons on it, and she's got the button eyes and real hair.
Oh, that's wild. That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that's very cool.
Yeah. And so I saw this and I was like, this, I have to own this, which is, it's kind of creepy because it's the thing that like watches you and communicates with the other side. But it's also coming up on the Halloween season, so we're supposed to have spooky things. So it's on my desk beside my computer and watches me all day long. I don't know.
Oh, perfect.
Anyway, so I've got other Coraline here, and I'm pretty excited to have her as part of my collection now. So,
Oh, very nice. I like that.
So that's the one of the crazy things that I bought recently.
There's always something. I'm sure we'll have more as we go.
Exactly, but that's what we have this week.
Yeah, that's ours this week. Okay, so before we get into Pop Capacitor, I've got a brand new segment.
Oh, this is brand new. This is so new that I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell you what it was. It's
Okay.
a brand new segment because I think you can relate to it.
All right.
And it's never been done before. And I've got an opener for it and everything.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to Loop and Larry's mailbag.
Loop and Larry's mailbag!
Okay, so this is a new segment called Loop and Larry's mailbag. Because sometimes people send us texts or whatever, or some sort of like messages, and I think sometimes they're worth reading. And so I thought I'll just start a new segment. We don't have to do it. We're not going to do it every week. Just occasionally, if someone sends us something that I think is worth reading.
Right.
So this one came in. You haven't seen this.
Okay.
So this is based on our last episode, which was the final episode of last season,
Okay.
where we ranked all the Star Wars films.
Right.
So this letter came in,
Okay.
and I thought I'm going to read it just in sort of an affected actor's voice, just for effect.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Dear sirs of the Loop and Larry podcast,
Oh God.
I am writing you today to express my discontent over your season final podcast ranking the Star Wars movies. Of course, I cannot agree with everyone's picks, but I certainly understand the logic of both Matt and Hank's rankings of all 11 movies. However, when it comes to Larry, I am perturbed at his conclusions. For I submit, he has committed an egregious error in judgment. I find his selection for number one Star Wars movie, The Phantom Menace, to be shockingly bad judgment. I apologize in advance if Larry has suffered some sort of cerebral contusion or has recently been bandied about the head by 2x4s. But if this is indeed his number one pick for Star Wars movies, then I must say my disappointment cannot be measured. I would suggest that some form of severe punishment is necessary. Perhaps being paraded around town in the town square as citizens yell yub nub at him, or to confiscate his entire Laserdisc collection and let him watch in horror as it is used as in a frisbee golf tournament. The injustice cannot go unnoticed nor unchallenged. Clearly, Larry's logic has been impaired, and his expertise in all things geek can no longer be trusted. Having said that, I would consider a change in my own opinion, which surely is the opinion of the masses, if he were to renounce his final decision by pleading temporary insanity to the court, which is, of course, the only logical conclusion I can come for this grievous action, and also provide me with a fresh ham and cheese sandwich. Only then would I perhaps be willing to further trust his instincts once again. Until that day, I shall continue to raise my fist in anger and carry a scornful look upon my face. Whenever I think of him, please take this matter seriously. His reputation depends on it, and the audience deserves justice. In the meantime, I conclude by saying, Sir Matthew, continue the good work and good tidings to you. Larry, do better. Thank you for providing such excellent entertainment up until this point, and may the force be with at least one of you. You may surmise which one. Sincerely, T. Boba Fett.
I ever heard.
That was a classic letter.
Oh my God. Do I get a chance to respond, or
And now we're going to pop capacitor. No, yeah, of course you can respond to this.
Well, Mr. Fett, if that is your real name, not only will I not renounce my pick as the Phantom Menace as my #1 movie, I shall also not be giving you a ham and cheese sandwich. Instead, you shall be getting a bologna and banana sandwich.
Oh no! The glove has been thrown down.
Oh yes.
I will give you time if you want to come back with a response on this for the next episode. If you want to really think out what your response is, because this is getting pretty heated here between the two of you. But
oh my God! All right, well, let's the ball's in Mr. Fett's court now, and see how he does with the banana and bologna sandwich.
we'll follow up on this if need be. It's so dumb.
I need to lay down.
Well, that's the end of the Loop and Larry mailbag. We'll see what happens if we get any more in. Please send us mail or messages or emails or tweets or whatever you want. Like, it's hilarious.
Please. Maybe make them directed at Loop next time.
No, I think Larry is a good target for all mail. All right, let's go to the pop capacitor. All right, it's time for pop capacitor. Larry, have you recovered from the letter?
I took like a 20-minute nap, and I think I've calmed down a little bit. So yeah, we're good. You can proceed.
Perfect. Okay, today we are doing Neverending Story, a classic movie from the 80s, released July 20th, 1984. That's a long time. It's been adapted from the German novel by Michael Ende in 1979, translated to English by Ralph Mannheim in 1983, directed by Wolfgang Petersen. My one line plot I like to do. Boy reads a mysterious book about a fantasy world that's being threatened, and the only one who can save it may just be himself. Whoa. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I just put it out there. I'm going to start out before we even get going just by saying that I don't think I've ever seen this.
Really?
Yeah. And even though it's such a classic, it's such a big movie. I think I've only seen clips of it because I had no clue where it was going. And not a lot of it wasn't recognizable to me when I watched it. And I think, being who I am, if I would have seen this in that time period, I probably would have loved this movie. And I probably would, because just of the fantasy aspect of it. So that's why I don't think I saw it. And I don't know what turned me off of it. I don't know why I didn't see it. But for whatever reason, I didn't see it.
Okay, because when we had talked about doing this movie, you thought maybe you saw it when it came out, but hadn't seen it since. But now you think you never actually did see it at all.
I don't think so, because I think I would have really liked this movie as a kid. Yeah. It seems like the kind of movie like a Dark Crystal or something along that lines. So that's why I don't think I saw it.
Interesting. Well, this is going to be very interesting then, because this will be coming. These hits and misses will be coming from somebody who's watched this movie probably 24 times or more in his life, me, and somebody who's never seen it and
Yeah.
is watching it for the first time as an adult, because that could make a difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, I think I've just seen clips, like,
Yeah.
and so I feel like I've seen it, but
Yes.
definitely not.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Well, then let's just jump right in. Hits and
Okay,
misses.
so we'll do our usual hits and misses. We'll kind of go through it. We'll add little like things as we see them, and I'm gonna start. I'll start with a hit.
Yeah. Start with a hit.
The right off the top of the movie, they go right into like the song, like the hit song "Never Ending Story." Like, is it
By
Lamal? Is that
Lamal.
who? Yeah,
Lamal,
right,
yeah.
right off the top. And it just reminds me of the '80s, like how they have like the like a major theme song, and it's just like all the clouds and everything, like and you're sailing through them. Like it just
Yes.
reminded me of any like '80s like movie or TV show that had an opener.
Yes.
But I did like it. I thought it was kind of a cool way to get you into the movie before it even starts. And like I thought, oh, maybe the theme song will happen at the end or something. It's like, nope, right off the top, we're just jumping right into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that song, I'm sure you knew. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
you knew
that's the thing.
song.
I knew the song more than I knew that
The
song was a
actual-
hit song. Like I totally
yeah.
knew that. I had like I don't know if I had the album, but I had the single for sure.
Absolutely. I think everybody had that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, 100%. I had Lamal on my list too as a hit. I will start with a hit as well. This is sort of an overarching hit for the whole movie, but this movie to me is pure fantasy. Like, it is the definition of fantasy. Like, if you want an escapist movie for an hour and a half, you're just sitting and you're totally taken out of your normal life into a fantasy world, into a world that doesn't exist, that's fully realized. This is that movie. It is pure unadulterated fantasy, and I love it. I just feel like it just is a whole world that we could experience outside of our own, and I think that's one of its major charms, is that it's pure unadulterated fantasy.
Yeah, and it's again like if I was a kid, I probably would have eaten this thing up. Like it was, it's just so like there's just so many ideas. I don't know how much is like it's based on a book, obviously, because I just mentioned that, but I'm not sure how much of it is or how close to the book it is, or but it's very cool. Like such a cool like movie from that time period. Like and just the production value is good, but we'll probably get into all that in a second because that should be coming up. But I've got some misses. And when I have misses on this, they're all like minor little nitpick things. They're not really anything. There's only one kind of big thing that I would have. So so within this movie, the main boy in it's being bullied in the movie, and he finds himself in the shop, and there's an old man in it that gives him the book that ends up being the book he reads, which is the story of the Never-Ending Story, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. My misses, and this is like not just for this movie, it's for a lot of things in the 80s, is how children in these movies are way too trusting of weird adults. Like of adults that are like kind of quirky, adults that are like usually older, from like I'm just trying to think, like even from like Marty and Doc in like and like even that kid, and we watched Garbage Pail Kids.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, like even and Mr. Carlson in Different Strokes. I mean,
we're not going there.
I'm just saying, like, why are people like, why do they always have kids so enamored with like older like people that live by themselves, but they're kind of recluses? You know what I mean? Like they're into weird sort of like things.
They're kind of like it's kind of like The Hobbit, where the hobbits all love Gandalf. Gandalf's a weird, isolated old guy.
Yeah,
but he's like a wise old wizard. So I feel like adults in the 80s were the equivalent of the wise old wizard.
Yeah, because this guy kind of came out of nowhere, and he gives the kid the book, and then the kid like kind of steals the book from him.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why are like kids so trusting of people in these movies? Like, I don't know if it's the time period, I don't know, but I noticed that in a lot of different things from the 80s. Like, if a person's older and quirky, then people are like kids are attracted to them.
Yeah, I think it was the time period though, because I seem to remember when I was that age in the 80s, we would always like talk to the owner of the variety store, who was like always like this old man who was just like behind the counter. We would always like make friends with him and talk to him about whatever. And I think it was like the era. I think it was like kids
Yeah.
looked up to adults, and if you were kind of weird and quirky, you were kind of even cooler because you weren't like our parents,
I
like
guess
you
if
were.
they tapped into something that you were interested in, like
Yeah,
whether it was like your creative side or like with Marty and Doc, like the science kind of stuff or whatever
yeah,
it was, I guess it makes sense. But it's a little problematic, I think, in
yeah,
these movies, just a little bit. That's all. I'm just
yeah.
just
Fair
throwing
enough.
that out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, good enough. All right, I'm gonna go back to another hit.
Yep.
Um, I thought this movie did a phenomenal job of world building. I talked about it being a great fantasy, pure fantasy. It did a really good job of world building because the whole movie is about this world and this world being eaten by the nothing.
Yeah.
So they had to create a world that you could care about, and be invested in order to be upset when the nothing was being taken over. I mean, they had different environments, they had different lands, they had different creatures. It was a really um like vibrant world that they created really really quickly. And
Yeah.
it just it was they realized this world really really well, like a lot of detail. And I just thought it was quite an immersive place
Yeah.
uh that they were taking you to. And I thought for the era, with they weren't working with CG or anything like that. They created by hand a really immersive place. And
Yeah.
I think that's part of what makes this movie so endearing and so charming, is that you've got this real world full of weird people. Yes.
And that was
Yeah.
also one of my hits as well. I said like the characters in the world they created, like was super ambitious. Now, mind you, like I'm curious to know when the writer wrote the book, like if he had certain things envisioned, and I don't know if he had anything to do with this movie at all. Like I'm not sure if he was like
Yeah.
part of the making of this, but just it's one thing to create like Lord of the Rings, but it's another to try to take it and create it on film.
Yes.
And they successfully did this in this movie, I
Yeah.
thought, with probably not like the hugest budget, but I think it was pretty big. I think it was a pretty decent budget for the time, because I think it
Yeah.
was made in Germany, I think, but it had like American
It did.
actors generally.
It
Like,
did, yes. Well, I'll get into that part in a little bit, but yes, originally it was released in Germany, in German, with the same cast, but it was dubbed into German
in
because the
German,
book
okay.
the book was written. The author was German, so the book
Yeah.
is written in German. It was a German story, so it started as a German movie, and then it became an international movie after that. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get into that part in a little bit. But yes, yeah, the whole world is just an awesome place to be. I just love going back there.
I'll
Fantasia.
I'll
Sorry,
just
and
carry.
the land is called Fantasia, by the way.
Yeah.
So talking about, yeah, yeah.
That's a little on the nose. I'm
Ooh,
gonna. I'll move on with the same. Like that was like also a hit of mine, but I have another hit that totally plays through it. The
okay.
special effects in this movie for their
Yes.
time,
Mhm.
and the practical effects were amazing in this movie. I was
Yeah.
very surprised. Like the Rock Eater, is that what he's? I think that's what he's called, right?
Rock biter.
Rock Biter. He like
Rock biter.
it's crazy. That's a
Yeah.
crazy. He has like a bike he rides, and like it's like it's a
Yeah.
crazy looking character, and they just did just all the different practical effects of everything that just happens in the movie. There was a part where the main hero, not the kid, but there's a hero that he's reading about. It's like
Atreyu, by the way.
Atreyu, there's a part where there's like a heavy wind and he's holding onto a tree.
Yeah.
And I watched a bit of the special features, and he's actually like they had the set sideways, and so he's hanging off it, and then they tilted the camera so it looks like he's
Ah,
like hanging off the tree. It was like
right.
stuff like that. So the whole thing like rotated, like that whole
Wow.
set. Like it was crazy to watch some of the special like practical effects they did on that for
Yeah.
one short scene. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. But anyways, I just thought the special effects in this were like fantastic for what they were at the time.
They,
And I don't know how much budget took, to make what, but I thought they did a great job with the budget they had.
Absolutely. And I had that on my list too, the practical effects. Everything in here is practical. There's probably there's like matte paintings and things like that, but those are also practical because they're hand painted.
Yeah.
But all the characters, everything in there. We've got, if you're watching this on YouTube, our backgrounds, you'll see the racing snail. I've always loved the racing snail. I just think it looks like a real snail, except they've given him more of a kind of a fun face, like a dog. But
Yeah.
it was such a cool looking creature because it really looked like a snail, but it was massive and it raced. I think the practical effects in this movie are just top notch. They're absolutely outstanding. Even the human characters who have makeup on, the makeup effects are really really good too. There's so much to look at in this movie. There's a scene when they're at the and now I can't remember what it's called, not the Ivory Tower. It might be the Ivory Tower, where the Empress lives. And they're in there, and they're the people of this of the in the tower are being told of that the nothing is coming. There's like a menagerie of creatures in this scene. There are some that are literally fish. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah.
They're like literally like fish, but like human size. There are like lizards. There
The
are
double face people too. There's the people like
yes. Yeah, there are people with two faces. There are so many. And when I went back and rewatched this movie for our podcast, I had forgotten or maybe never noticed how many characters there are in this. But there are so like it takes a couple of viewings or even just to pause to see all of the creatures that they created for this. It's
the
not just
detail work is
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it's so well done. I just think that yeah, that it's part of what makes this world, why they were able to create a full world, because they created these beautiful characters within
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with a miss.
Okay.
And I only have a couple
Yeah.
of misses, so I'll go with this one. And this is a kind of a big one, I guess. Um, some of the acting has a bit to be desired, I found. And I've always thought this. I mean, I know they're child actors, but some of the acting is so over the top and so overly dramatic. Barrett Oliver is the actor who plays Bastion, who plays the little boy who's reading the Neverending Story. So there's a part in the story where the Atreyu says they need to eat something, and then they cut back to Bastion, who's reading the book, and he says, "No, that's a great idea." And he runs and grabs his sandwich and takes a bite and says, "No, I mustn't. I mustn't eat too much right now. I'll
Oh my
put
God.
this down." And it's literally like it's just so over the top, which is, I mean, it's kind of fun. It's fun to watch now, but it's just he just plays it so big
Yeah.
in this movie. So I find that is a little bit distracting sometimes because it's just he's so over the top with
Yeah.
it. But I don't mind it. I think it's kind of fun. But
I found with him and it's no fault of the child, of course, but it's like
Yeah.
I just found that character pretty manila, like pretty like boring. Like it was just he didn't really have a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Generally, like he just sort of was there, and you're kind of supposed to be rooting for him, but they really didn't give you a lot to root for.
Yeah.
It
Because
was
he's
just
just
sort
reading.
of
Like he's just reading the book. Like
yeah, and
he's
so
not doing the things.
yeah, it just sort of like is like I don't know. I found him just sort of like there, and
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot there for him to do other than
Yeah.
just react big when things happened. So
Really big.
yeah, so I was
So
kind of like he's like as generic a child as you could possibly get. Like, it was like
Now, having said that, Noah Hathaway, who plays Atreyu, who plays the child warrior,
yeah,
is I think he's a great actor. Like I think he did a really good job. I thought he was dramatic. I thought he was emotional. I really think he was so perfectly cast in that role because his acting I thought was spot on. Same with Tammy Stronach, who played the childlike Empress. I think she was really well cast as well. I think her acting was really good. It was really just Barrett Oliver as the main
But he
bastard.
wasn't really even like he was in it, but like he was in it a
Yeah,
bit at the beginning, and then he sort of just
like throughout they cut back to him,
yeah.
but he's supposed to be the big, like, the reason this is all happening is because of him. But
That one
anyway,
of my biggest surprises, having never seen this, was that the princess was hardly in it
oh yeah,
because she's
yeah,
front and center in the poster, and I thought. Like I'm like, where is she in this thing? And then
yeah,
finally she shows up at the very, very end, like in the
yes,
last maybe like 20 minutes of the movie. And,
yeah,
and so that kind of surprised me a little bit. It's not really a miss. It's just I just because of how prominent she is on the poster, I assumed she was like a main character. And like
yeah.
so I was
I
very surprised when I hardly saw her in it.
I think they were, and it's a little bit too bad she is so prominent on the poster because I think the whole point was that she was a child. Like, this whole thing was that they had to save the Empress, and the Empress knew how to stop the Nothing, but she was a child. She's referred to as the childlike Empress, so I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but she's a
Yeah.
child. I think that was supposed to be the big reveal. Like, oh my gosh, the Empress is just a child,
Yeah.
and yet she has all this power. I don't know, but she's on
That,
the
that would
poster.
have been better had I not seen the poster.
Exactly.
And actually it was there to meet her when you were meeting her. So it was like
Yes.
the
All right. What have you got now?
I've got another miss.
All right.
And I'm just trying to find. Okay, this is a miss. I thought was a big plot point in the thing. Maybe you don't think so, but I thought it was.
Okay.
What happened? We talked about that old man earlier. What
Yeah.
happened to him? Like he gives the kid the book. The kid steals the book from him,
Yeah.
and he does that sort of like wink, like, "Oh, he's got the book. Something's gonna
Yeah.
happen." But he's never brought back into the story ever again.
No.
And so I think that it left me with a lot of questions, like, why did he have the book? Why
Yeah.
did he let the kid steal the book?
Yes.
What's his part in this whole thing? Like I thought later on, like when the kid actually entered the world of the book, that the man would be like, "Listen, I've had this book. I am done. I'm done with it. This is my
Yes.
story's ended. Your story's just beginning, and here you go." Like it's
Yeah.
like, and you're going to take on for what I left off. Like I thought it was going to be something like that. But he just disappeared, and that was it. Like you don't know why he had the book and why, like he knew it was magical or whatever it was, like in some way, shape, or form. Like I don't even
Yeah.
know if it was magical or if it was just about imagination. Like I'm not really sure.
Well, see that's the big question. Like, was it really happening? And I feel like it was because at the end of the movie, we see Falkor come into the real world. So I feel like the book was like a real thing. It needed a child to bring it to life. So I think it was real. It was just it needed a child's imagination to make it.
Or was
exist.
that when he came to the real world, was that in his imagination as well to get back at those bullies? Like I don't know.
Well, I guess yeah. I guess
Like,
you could potentially go either way. They
because
don't really
if this
explain.
kid has the imagination that like running that wild, like this is maybe not the best thing for him to be reading. Like if he can't focus on life generally, like he's
Yes.
I don't know if that was a good move on that old man's part to give him that book. Like,
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. There should have been a bit more explanation about the book, and it would have been. You're right. It would have been cool if the old man had been a child, like had been in the story and had made this story come to life 50 years ago, and he was the last one to be able to do it. So
right.
now the world is dying, and maybe that is the case. Maybe he did do this 50 years ago, and he's owned this book for so long that nobody has read it, which is why the Nothing is taking over. So
Yeah.
now so maybe that, but they don't confirm that, so we're just making that up.
I'm wondering if maybe in the book it explains it a little bit better. Like I
Yeah.
just thought, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for the old man to be at the end and be like, listen, you've done it. Your story's beginning. I'm old and
Yes.
I'm done. The story never ends, but
Yeah. But it's
my
now your
part in
story.
it is done. Like,
Yeah, it's now your story to continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have I agree. That would have been a good.
I would rather seen
Okay.
that than him just on the Falkor. Hey everybody! Hey, look at me up here! As he's flying around at the end.
This is true.
But
That's fair point. Fair point.
yeah.
All right. Okay, well, we sort of touched on it. So another one of the hits for me is Falkor, the Luck Dragon. I think as far as like fantasy characters go, I think he's one of my favorites. I
Yeah,
just
he's
think
very cool.
with his really deep voice and his calm, and he's just like everybody wants a luck. I want a luck dragon. Like he's just such a cool creature to have in your life. He's there to help, but he's there to guide you, and he's just so warm and inviting. And I just think everything about him, and his laugh when he laughs is just this big booming. It just makes you happy. He's just like a happy thing.
He is. You know what's hilarious? I didn't know he was a dragon. I thought he was like just a giant dog.
Oh,
And because he kind of looks like a dog. And
Yeah.
so I put into Google, like, it was like, what's the name of the dog in Neverending Story? And I came up and it was like actually kind of angry. It's like, he's not a dog. He's actually a dragon. Like, like the way it was worded was, and it was bold. Like, they bolded dog. Like it was. Like
That's hilarious.
Google was not happy with me asking if it was a dog. I'm sure it's been asked before, so I'm sure that's
Well,
why.
he says it in the movie. He says, "I'm a luck dragon." I think you must have.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I heard that, but this is before I'd seen it.
Oh,
I
oh,
Googled
okay.
it because I was trying to like just remember because we had seen it, like a replica of it, so I was asking
Yes.
what it was. So
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, nope, not a dog. It
nope,
does
no
kind of
dog.
look like a dog. Yes, you're right. But I think that's in purpose. Like I think he kind of looks like man's best friend. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah,
he's that sort of thing. He's just such a fun character. I
yeah.
think
I love that character. It's great.
he's
It's
become
so
quite
good.
iconic. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's definitely a hit for me. Yeah.
yeah. I only have a couple of things left.
Yep, me too.
The I thought this movie, one thing I did like about it for a kids movie, and is like as visual and as big as it was and as fantasy as it was, it really plays on emotion a lot.
Yes.
For like, I mean, not only the kids reacting to things that are happening, but it puts characters in real dire straits in
Yes.
this movie where there's real, like, look, for instance, let's go back to, like, we haven't talked about this yet, like the poor horse.
Yes.
That horse scene is like, I knew of it because I'd
Yeah.
seen clips, but like, that is really like within the context of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
so the what's the hero again?
Atreyu.
Atreyu, like, loses his horse in like a swamp where it's almost like quicksand, and this poor horse just sinks
Yeah.
into the
It's the Swamp of Sadness. I think that's what it's called. The swamps. Yeah, and Artax is the name of the horse. Succumbs to the sadness, and you're supposed to think about happy things and think about good things, or the sadness will overtake you and you'll sink. Which is why Atreyu doesn't sink into the swamp, because he remembers this and he stays positive, but the horse succumbs to the sadness. I have the same thing as a hit. It said this movie does not shy away from emotional gut punches. Like
Yeah.
that for a kid, like that is a traumatic, and you'll hear from people who watched the movie back in the day as adults now, like that was a traumatic scene.
It's very traumatic to watch. Like, this poor horse, like, because
Yes.
anytime animals, like, anything happens to an animal, because they don't have the function that we would have to figure out situations, like, you just feel terrible for it. And it was just a sad scene. Like, it was very sad.
Yeah, and it didn't help that once the Artax, the horse, disappeared into the mud, the screen fades to black and then comes back up just to see Atreyu sitting like alone in the swamp, just like so
Yeah.
sad. Just like, oh my God. Like, he's lost his best friend, and this, it's just terrible. But yeah, I
Well,
mean, for a movie like that to like not shy away from those emotional moments, that's a pretty big deal. Like,
yeah,
that's not
and just the whole, like, basic concept of, which is, it's a big concept of the nothing.
Yeah.
Like, basically, like, it's the almost equivalent of like the world blowing up from like a nuclear bomb or something like that. Then, but it's like the nothing is like, you can't grasp it. You can't. It's not tangible,
Yeah.
and it's just basically like darkness. Like, like closing in on you, and things disappear because they go into the dark and they're gone. Like, and it's such a crazy concept of a way to die. It's like it's almost like dying. Like you're just like your eyes close and you're done. Like, and that's basically what it's kind of like. And it's so to have kids think of this darkness. Like, I'm sure every kid that watched that had a nightlight for the rest of their lives. Like it was kind of frightening.
It is. Well, even Rockbiter has a scene that in the first time you see Rockbiter roll up, he's talking about back in his land where he used to live, he had all of these gourmet rocks, like the best rocks on the planet. They were wonderful, but the nothing has come and vanished all of his rocks, all of his land. So he's so sad about it. He used to have the best rocks, and now they're gone. Like his whole land has been decimated, is gone, is just gone. And like all of these characters are just so sad.
I know. There's a lot happening in this behind the scenes. Like that's why it's such a great story. Like
it is.
I was a little concerned of a rock monster eating rocks. Like I wasn't sure what was going on with that, but it was it seemed a little odd.
But his name is Rockbiter. We don't know if he's actually made of rocks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's kind of like the Thing in Marvel, in Fantastic Four. He's not, he's kind of made of whatever he's made of. He just eats rocks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was definitely a hit for me. I have one more miss.
Okay.
Which isn't really a miss. It's just more of a confusion.
Yep.
I never understood. So Bastian, the little boy who's reading the book, is in the attic of his public school, like his elementary school. He
had this as well.
and they show the elementary school because he's running through the hallways, and it's a normal, like it's made of like, I don't know, concrete and
like it looks like a normal school, like any school you'd ever go into.
Exactly. But when he goes up the stairs into the attic, it's like a haunted house. Like it's like this.
It looks like the attic of a barn is what it looks like. Yeah.
It's all exposed beams and hardwood floors. And I guarantee you there is not a high school anywhere that would have been built out of concrete. And then they got to the attic and went, oh, we'll just make it hardwood. We'll just make it. It looks so old. It just the two set pieces don't match.
No, they didn't match, and it also there was like a hidden key that he knew of that got him into that area, and I'm like, how's he know about that? Like it's just
and the things that were in there were disturbing. Like there were mannequins and weird like skulls, and like it literally was like a haunted house. Like it literally.
Like there was I think there was a full skeleton, which I'm like, okay, that's probably from the science department, and it's just sitting in there. I was trying to like figure out why this stuff was in there, but
I don't know. But there should have been like basketballs and like a volleyball net.
Yeah, it's almost like he went from like the real world, and then he went to like almost like a mid sort of world between the two worlds, and so it was different. Like I don't know, that's how I kind of looked at it, but it was weird. I mean, I kind of wish my school had a cool like hangout like that, but it was
seriously. I love it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just think it's it's confusing. But you're right.
Because it's two different architectures like together that don't match at all. It would never happen. Like
but I do like your idea that maybe it's a world between the two worlds. I'm going to go with that. That's going to be my thing from now on. Yeah, perfect.
All right, I have one more miss, and then I'm done hits and misses.
Okay, I've got one more hit, and then I'm good.
Okay, does he ever pass the test that he was supposed to do? Because there's a scene where before he goes into this like attic, he passes his classroom, and he was like, "Oh no, there's a pop quiz or whatever." She's handing out the tests, and then he decides instead of that, he's just going to go read his book. I'm like, did he ever pass this quiz? Did he ever take the test? These are questions I need to know.
I feel like at the end of the movie, he and Falkor just flew off to Fantasia, and he never went back to that school ever again. So that's what I think. I think he is now the new emperor of Fantasia. That's where he is. That's a good question.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so my last hit in this movie is that the nerd wins. Bastian is the geekiest little kid who loves books and he loves fantasy and all of that, and he wins. He beats the the bullies, and he's on his dragon, and he's victorious. So it just goes to show you that geeks rule the world.
Like I saw the sequel, which was Revenge of the Nerds,
Oh
where
yes,
he's
yeah.
grown up in it and he's now going to college for Tri Lambda.
Right.
And
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I just think that's a great ending, considering we are that kind of person who, loves fantasy, who loves that sort of thing. And, for us to come out victorious, I think is great.
Yeah, I think it's just like creativity and kindness wins the day, right?
Yeah,
Like it's like
exactly.
so imagination and kindness, and I think that's basically like the bullies got theirs, that's for sure.
They sure did.
I love when bullies in movies get theirs. Like it's always the best.
I don't know what theirs are, but it's
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
when they get it.
I like it when they get it. I don't know what it is, but they got
It's
it.
good that they got it.
Okay, so before we're done, I know you watched the German version of the movie, which I have no clue what makes it different than the regular one, but
Yes.
obviously there is.
Okay, so years ago, I discovered that there was that there was an original version of this movie, and I of course, had to own it because that's what we do.
Of course.
So they released it, believe it or not, in Steelbook. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but this is the German version. It's an import from Germany, but it is in English. You can play it in German, of course, but you can play it in English. So I watched that version recently as well, and it's very interesting because it's different. Not different, not a lot different. Really, most of the difference comes from it's 7 minutes longer. So there are some extra scenes in there. There are some scenes of the nothing that are pretty dramatic. You
Yeah.
see nothing coming, the rock biter in the first scene where you see the rock biter roll up on his trike on his
Yeah.
bicycle thing. There's an extra scene in there where he sees the nothing coming towards him, and it's just decimating the whole planet. It's pretty violent. Like it's pretty cool. So there are some extra scenes like that, but the bigger thing is that the Neverending Story song by Lamal is not in it.
Oh.
So that song doesn't exist. It's a very different soundtrack. It's much darker. Because the written story was much darker than the international film. But there are lots of scenes. Most of the international movie, the one that we know, has music all the way through it.
Yeah.
Has music through the scenes. There are a number of scenes that have no music in it at all. The scenes where Bastian's in his public school, walking through the hall, like running up to the attic, completely silent, no music, which is really neat because it makes it much kind of almost creepier,
Okay.
and much more dramatic, because you're not hearing kind of fun music play while he's running. You're just like it almost feels like a horror movie.
Oh, wow.
Because you just don't know what is coming because there's no indication because there's no music. So yeah, so the soundtrack is a very different, and it makes the whole movie feel a lot darker, essentially, than the movie that we know. But when they wanted to release it internationally, they wanted it to be more kid friendly, which is why they added a different soundtrack, and why they added the Lamal song, the Neverending Story song, to make it more like something they could market, I guess, and just make it a lot happier, because the original German version is definitely, I mean, the nothing has a lot more gravity to it because there's no music when it comes roaring in. It's just loud, like just tearing trees out of the ground and stuff. It's pretty neat. It's kind of a neat version. If you get a chance to watch it, I don't know if it's on YouTube or Tubi or something like that, but the version I bought is like in PAL, like it's not NTSC. It's like I have an international Blu-ray player, so I can
Yeah.
switch to international to play European movies. So it will only play like that. So it's not the easiest thing to find, but if you can find it, it's a cool way to watch it because it's quite different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, worth the effort if you get a chance to see it.
Oh, that's wild. I love that. So just to wrap up, does it stand up? Is the question we like to ask.
To me, it does. It
Yeah.
it totally does. Like I said, I've watched this thing for 40 years, and I've watched it dozens of times, and every time I still love it. I think it's a great story. Definitely holds up for me. How about you? Because you've never seen it before.
I've never seen it, and I'm like, now I kind of feel like I missed out on like the rewatches, and I'm gonna definitely watch it again. I actually really enjoyed it. Had never seen it, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna think of it. And I enjoyed it start to finish. I love the filmmaking portion of it. I love the special effects. I love the imagination. There's so many aspects of this movie that is really captivating, even as an adult. And it's, I always wish I had kind of grown up with it a little more. There's just those movies once in a while that everyone else seems to be like, oh, this is the greatest movie, but you just never really got into. Like, have you seen the sequels? Like, and these are real sequels. Like, there's like a
I have.
Neverending Story 2.
There's
a third one.
Neverending Story 2. I have seen a few times. I like it. I think it's a fun movie. I haven't seen it in years, so I couldn't even tell you exactly what happens in it. I know my wife is not a fan, even though this Neverending Story is her favorite movie. The sequel was not. It just didn't land with her.
Does it carry the story on?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. I believe Bastian might be played by a different actor, though. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he's not the same. But yeah, it's in Fantasia, and things happen, and it's a movie, and it's never ending.
Well, just stop.
Yes. But it's worth seeing if you can find it. And now you're probably gonna have to buy it because you just watched this. You're gonna have to own.
Well, yeah, now I gotta own everything now, as I usually do.
Yes. So you buy it and then you watch it and you tell me what you think.
Okay, I'll see. All right. All right. Well, that we should wrap this up. Of course, you can always get a hold of us. If you want to send a letter to our mailbag, go right ahead.
Absolutely.
I've got the socials up.
It might get read on the air.
And then we've got, hopefully we'll get like some episodes in before obviously we'll get some in before the end of the year, but I'd like to get one in the next couple weeks for sure. So
well, I mean, we're heading into spooky season, so we gotta
do at least a couple in October for sure.
Yeah, we gotta get those horror movies in there for sure.
Yep. So I'm all excited about that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Loop and Larry, Guardians of Geek.
Bye-bye.
Produced by Matthew C. Loop and Lawrence Simner. A Loop and Larry production.
Bueller.
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Bueller.
Bad news. Fog is getting thicker.
And Leon's getting larger.
Inconceivable.
Brian's right. It's an elf.
Wax on.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Wax off.